Josh Viger, top bloke, returning with Year 9 Maths. Today we're looking at computations with percentages and money. So looking at our example today, what we're doing today is we're doing converting decimals and percentages into fractions. So we've got 0.45 written as a decimal. How about we write it as a percentage? So first thing we've got to remember about percentages is that they're out of 100. Every percentage is always out of 100. So we've got 0.45, this is the tens, this is the units. So we've got 45 out of 100, which is the same as 45%. Moving along, we've got 25%, and we need to write it as a decimal. So one of the wonderful things about having percentages is they're always out of 100. So we've got 25 out of 100. Now, as a decimal, we can write that as 0.25. Now, I'm sure you would have run into this in year 7 and 8, so I'm not going to harp on about it too much. When we get something a little bit more difficult, we need to go through and write these things as fractions. So we got 3 1/4, so 3.25 out of 100. Now, it's usually not acceptable to put a decimal point in the top of a fraction. So if we want to remove that decimal point, we're going to have to move it 2 places, which means timesing everything by 100. Now, timesing by 100 is a wonderful thing. Just moves the decimal point 2 places, so we end up with 325 out of 10,000. Now, we can simplify this down a bit further by finding a common denominator. So I'm going to make a common denominator out of 400, and I'm going to say 325 divided by 5. We're going to get something really nice. We're going to get, looking at my notes, 13 out of 400, which is a nice way to solve that question. Write 50 cents out of $2.50 as a percentage. So what we're going to have to do with this one is we have to convert to the same units. I'm going to start off with changing them all to cents, and then I'm going to show you that changing them all to dollars will make it exactly the same. So we've got 50 out of 250, so we can divide by 10, which removes 1 0, so we're left with 5 out of 25. We go through and we divide by 5 again, we're going to end up with 1 out of 5, or 1/5. Now to do it, when we changed it all to dollars, we end up with 0.5 out of 2.5, and again I'm going to do that little trick that I showed you before. I'm going to times by 10 to move the decimal point 1 place. I've got to remember to do top and bottom, so multiplying them both by 10 we get 5 out of 25, which is 1 out of 5. Same answer, 2 different ways. It's up to you which way you find easiest. Shannon. So, our next question is to find 15% of $35. Yes, I'm going to leave that in, and I'm going to leave that part in too, Emma Wade. So we've got 15%, which is 15 out of 100 times $35. So the easiest way to do this one, I particularly like finding 10%. So 10% of $35 is $3.50. And to 5%, 10% is $3.50. 5% is half of $3.50. So half of $3.50 is $17.50. $1.75. And then we're just going to add those two together. So we've got $4 and... Ooh, sorry. Nothing worse than making a boo-boo. We got 5, carry the 1, so we're left with 2, so we end up with $4.25. Write that nicely over here, Mr. Viger. $4.25. Find the original amount if 5% of the amount is $45. So, we can do this one the complex way, so doing it using the unitary method, or we can do this by just adding in, just using our nous to work it out. So we've got 5% is $45. So if we double that, we're going to get 10%. So 10% is $90. And to go from 10% to 100%, we can find 100% by timesing by 10, and we get $900. Now the other way we can do that is we can go through and we can do the unitary method, or we can use the decimal approximation. So we've got 0.05 times x is 45. So we've got multiplication, so we're going to go with x equals 45 divided by 0.05, which is going to give us exactly the same answer of $900. Two different ways to do it, two ways to solve that question. So we're going to pause it for a bit here, and we'll talk about the enrichment questions in a sec. So that'll be enough for class for today.